Gilg Jew, Gilg J as Gilg Nerach.
Smiley Shuish Altachagus, Claare Gael. Welcome to Claare Gael. My name is Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Have I heard tell of old Bobby Bob?
And I'm here to present this programme which goes by the name of Claare Gael, in which there'll be something in the English language, as Angie Nisby Riddenach Sigilg, and in which too there'll be something in the Manx Gaelic, Chinyanamera, the mother tongue of Ellen Vanning, the Isle of Man. As Bannacht and Jurish, Samuel William Ryley, that's Ryley with R-Y-L-E-Y, Samuel William Ryley, 1759 to 1837. He published a book in 1808 called The Itinerant, or Memoirs of an Actor. He and his wife Anne came to the island, and we'll find out some of what he has to say of his experiences here. He also writes, in fact, about a Dr. Hammer and others whom he met here, and perhaps we'll come back to those. We'll just look for the time being at the most overtly Manx material for now. Mina Murray yng Ngedden Mach de fel y cara Lucy Westenra siwl de cadla, ach chaw mwy Jane Tyen cyr sio, as ish cew veg ach yn gulneiac. Ty smonion ffyddi de fel Lucy yng Olgus y rai vinc och sy rolig nein yn hiar. Tamina cormoi fildieg chrom chie as ty gold de chirei. We start with Manx band Claare, and we find them running in the long grass. Tashu geistjach rish radio vanning, stasiwn yn asiwn, vis gulder skeliene was dulish, Ellen Vanning. clash with one of Gael and Clegg's songs, Long Grass. In September 1795, writes Samuel William Ryley, we sailed from Liverpool in the Duke of Atholl packet. After a pleasant, though tedious voyage of 2 days and a half, we anchored in Douglas Harbour, amidst as animated a scene as ever I remember to have witnessed, occasioned by a numerous fleet of fishing smacks just leaving the port as we entered it, their white sails unfurled and bending before the breeze. This gave a degree of life to the view which greatly increased its natural beauties, and added an exhilaration to the spirits truly delightful. I must here remark that, without introduction, the inhabitants of Mona are very backward in noticing strangers. Yet this can scarcely be called a fault when we consider the number of unprincipled refugees who fly to the island as a place of sanctuary. Of this description were several of the most dashing inhabitants of this period who lived in style upon the means that ought in justice to have been appropriated to their creditors. Va eist len Galon, leis bosel and troma du rai rocherie, ren diorama shaladach de holisid as the scadu, chouds ren a shola sha. Rish tullach na re, gedot mi fagen beg, chouds ren scadu bodgel dollamach kiel wurra as ulju magitamoy. Esh, chouds ren en bodgel gol sha, oddens fagen tolten en ab, chit de vei on shilia, as chouds ren oer je bonde kiel de hollis gegeer as beim kleeuw gul rosh, henken kiel as een rollik, ne weggen as ne weggen, de weire agen. Claare by van my jurkelis, grauwe mollich, son een shen, a rai wenk ein, ren solis doile neest, seilje gemaakt kumme ljai, go bijna snjachte. Henke bodgel rotavi ma hand de fagen manne, noder en skedu moege solis bonus chilirach. Ach, wij jeen dau mor de berg riddenach, dorrige, ne chiadu chau hulu jeen vink, bol van kumme ben sal jeen, as kroma herish. Now, Brian Webb was for a number of years the secretary of Coethus and Yeth Cernioec, the Cornish Language Society. Here he sings a song of farewell in Cornish.
Farewell, Gennis Wella, farewell, Gennis Jory, na gemmer an fleckes du Gennis Rebo. Ni vidith an kevis, him a bunens au quaja, in nepau tramor. Bith benitha kerno. A taith an Albanion, Rathnorion and Moro, Rakladra and Brethel, Gans Roso re Braz. A commersons they tack, a Wertha they Russia, Galicio and Puskes, Parahernhow and Farewell, Gennis Wella, farewell, Gennis Jory, now gemmer an fleckes du Gennis Rebo. Ni vidith an kevis, im a bunens au quaja, in nipau tramor, bith benitha kerno. A frenens I da vein, mes a frenens I da stain, a frenens tam denti you graze in Japan. Rebo grassi as dew, Nalens lapa the spiris, or russens I gasha, I wertha hin can. Farewell, Gennis Wella, farewell, Gennis Jory, na gemmer an fleckes du Gennis Rebo. Ni vidith an kevis, im a bunens au quaja, in nepau tramor, bith benitha kerno. Bagan pendro te, bagazo esterenion, guac you causezo metigeno you lean. Mar prenans and chio, play thillen ni trigger, kay they vow sows, and go thip you a lean. Farewell, Guinness Wella, farewell, Guinness Jory, na gemmer an fleckes du Guinness Raybo. Ni vidith an kevis im abunens au quaitja, in that pow tramor, if beneath the kerno.
Brian Webb and the song in Cornish, Farewell, Guinness Wella. Crave on, rawi dunyan a bech a dod mi grey. Gerem mi few cew shilia bew elia ach rem mi sairach a shies na griechen nach gus an chalw as langst rische verge yeast gus an drochad van onacht de roos na nein in jaar. Van balia gian mor de bech in maru, son havak mi pecher bi. Rem mi goel boga de rauw in my sen, on a rauw mi lal fenishi de stede Lucy vach. Van tre as een red rom gien de wij gin jerre, as van miljoenen krauw as henken enel dau lesh dolied, chaus rem mi tuljeel sus griechen gin jerre an ab. Hai mi de bew gin doet, ach na jai, vei gien dau de rauw me gaden fo trimmet mar lai, as mar de bech dachalt ons me chorp murgach. Tra henk mi bonnes den wollach, dat mi oddens vagen de wink as een komme wijn, son van mi nish vages de loer day, de chronach eer through shell in de scadow. Now, the trip from Liverpool to Douglas has taken Samuel William Ryley 2.5 days, but they landed, as he says, amidst a great scene of animation, so he was quite pleased with that. He goes on, "It was our intention to make a pedestrian tour of the island, but the weather proved so intensely warm through September that we were induced to take a chaise to Peel town. The roads are excellent, without turnpikes, and posting cheap, 9 pence per mile. Upon second thought, I don't know whether that can be called cheap, for travelling is subject to no tax whatever. The chaises are deplorably shabby, and the rough, uncouth, ill-matched horses, harnessed to the carriage with ropes, or sometimes with bands of hay, certainly make a great difference in the expense, to say nothing of the comfort. Peel is a small fishing town, chiefly inhabited by that description of people, and whilst the men are thus employed, their wives perform the whole of the harvest work and drudgery, and may in fact be called the slaves of the other sex, who, if the weather be unfavourable for their usual occupation, are seen sleeping on the shore or under hedges." And there we heard Scottish fiddle player Charlie Cowie. He was playing there in an arrangement of Morgan Rattler with the band of his accordion-playing friend John Carmichael. And that was in fact their joint arrangement of the tune, the arrangement by Charlie Cowie and John Carmichael of Morgan Rattler.
The Nation Station, Manx Radio.
Siodiw stasiwn yn asiwn, radio fanning, na stasiw geisiach rys Claare na Gael. She Robert Cutting Carswell mish, Robert a Carslach.
Haven't heard tell of owl Bobby Bob.
Now Samuel Ryley has noted that the fishermen here are sleeping, instead, he says, of assisting the females in their daily toil. Disgusting pictures of sloth and idleness. Well, in fact, here follows a very unflattering picture of the Manx population of 1795. Indeed, says he, the character of the Manx people, as far as I could judge, is unamiable. They are unfriendly, cunning, suspicious, overreaching, and avaricious. Yet, with all this, very devout in their way. Before they go to sea on the most trifling excursion, you see them laid upon their oars with their hats off, making a long prayer. To finish their character, they are deplorably ignorant, ridiculously superstitious, and believers in fairies and second sight. It was Sunday when we arrived at the only miserable inn the place afforded. After supper, I ordered some punch, but couldn't obtain it, because there was no water in the house, and the landlord, though drunk himself, was too devout to suffer any of his family to go to the well on the Sabbath day. Gynawrys, verriddenach, liawr as dw, cromashis harish a chumma ben liei. Jelly me as alem, Lucy, Lucy! As ren riddenach troggle soos kion, as vian vol vami, honnick me edden niel, as soulien jurgel lonriche. Garen Lucy fregert, as ren me raiges en trailes en rollik. Gouds hai me stjaag on, van giel eder misjes en wink, as rish minnet na gair, we as ma chilje. Tre henk me on chilje gi rish, van budgel en ngol sha, as for salje ne saljein cho Gael, de oddens vagen Lucy liei lesje kion the lie harish dreame wink. We sledden the lummerken, as grauw monna on je cretuur blauwer be. Tre grauw mi schies Harry, dat mi vagen de rauwie forst na kadle. Van een melenek vai Michaelia, as we tarn ennel. Geneed de means en Arcadianek, ach, ons skredden jouwer trauma, maar de bergie strieuw, de redden de skoen en ek, ledden ik dag ennel. Well, we heard a 1948 recording of Mona Ker Is, and she was singing in French last time, although the composer of the lyrics was in fact a Breton. Here she sings in Breton from a recording made 10 years later in 1958.
Agi ora nails them.
Mona Keris, accompanied by Gérard Pont-d'Aven, and she was singing about the sailor's life, Buée à Vorérien. Gouds henk mi fair, hug I soes a lau, se Sabinek, as jarni collier a goonai, de chon begiet de scornach. Gouds vi ginu shen, henk kre beg na truj, mor de bergi gennachten en furij. Gauw mi een filieg je Harry, as jaar mi na chemmelen de chon megita wannel, son we ouwen hem de darach furach we soilori vai nee, an chomrich mor we. We in neem gaan duste hi de doltajemach, maar so de berg melauwen ser de vodden koenelje, ren mi snemme en filiege gescornach ek, les vriene sausjes moer. Ach, wij gien drou mi stachelachs in hem neem, as rem mi minge na brodde lesh, son lor tamelt beg, tre henk en tarn enel ek de vene skuna, huggie a laugus a scornach ek rish, as renni sachel. Trelvi fillich de kerelach hug mi me vregen na caden eksh, as esh gau mi toyach fi vial de roestei, fi viel de roestei. I merely mention this, writes Mr. Ryley, after being rather unpleasant in his what he had to say. I merely mention this to corroborate what I advanced respecting the stupid inconsistency of the natives. Nor is this a singular case. 'Tis the general character of the people. Perambulating the town on the following day, I was struck with the appearance of a neat little cottage, within 10 yards of the sea at high water, and on inquiry found it was to be let ready furnished. The situation was truly desirable. The ruins of Peel Castle presented a magnificent object to the eye, and relieved that monotony such a vast expanse of water must have produced, though diversified by trading vessels skirting the horizon, or sometimes a smuggling cutter at anchor within a mile of the shore. In the vicinity there was excellent fly fishing, and a moderate supply of game and wild fowl. These various local circumstances strongly recommended Peel Town as a residence. But the house was furnished. Consequently, my furniture would be superfluous. Now, from Derry Tresk on the shores of Lough Neagh in County Tyrone, Geordie Hanna sings a song he learned from his father. On yonder hill there sits a hare.
On yonder hill there sits a hare, food of worry, grief and care, and o'er her lodgings it was bare, singing ho, brave boys, hi ho. And o'er her lodgings it was bare, singing ho, brave boys, hi ho. Now there came a huntsman riding by, and on this poor hare he cast his eye, and o'er the bogs hallooed his dogs, singing ho, brave boys, hi ho. And o'er the bogs hallooed his dogs, singing ho, brave boys, hi ho. And now she's gone from hill to hill, all for the best dog to try his skill, and kill the poor hare that never done ill, singing ho, brave boys, hi ho. And kill the poor hare that never done ill, singing ho, brave boys, hi ho. And now she's turned and turned again, merrily as she trips the plain, and may she live to run again, singing ho, brave boys, hi ho, and may she live to run again, singing ho, brave boys, hi ho.
Wonderful styling of Geordie Hannah, On Yonder Hill There Sits a Hare, song he got from his father. Well, Samuel Ryley was evidently hoping or expecting, in fact, to set up a fairly lengthy theatrical residency in the island if he'd brought his furniture with him, but it turned out to be perhaps unnecessary as the house he was looking at was furnished. Besides, he says, the inhabitants neither manufactured cloth nor were apparently capable of receiving entertainment from the stock of knowledge I had imported for their edification and my own profit. At any rate, there could be no harm in looking at the house and inquiring the terms. The premises consisted of a sitting-room, kitchen, and 2 bedchambers, very neatly furnished and amply supplied with linen of every description. In short, it was a convenient, comfortable place, and the owner hoped we shouldn't think 3 shillings a week an unconscionable rent. And he gives an exclamation mark there. This, in my mind, stamped its excellence, though I conceived it my duty ere I closed the bargain to continue our tour and find, if possible, a lucrative as well as a pleasant situation. So he's still on the lookout for somewhere to set up in his theatrical entertainments. Egen toiacht gerenni fregert. Ach, na weggen is na weggen, Henkie de vein na smoo is na smoo, Njau eishach sa charlek, as ish, sachel as garsnige eishes nish. Verjere, no der ouwen tregel sha de bew, as son immer die ornelje, vami giri corleshi de valia chalirach. Remmi crei njart smoo, derre verjere dosheli esulien, as renni duster. Ve Jean, na raui goiliendes je fagen me, no de dugesacht na denke je kaart tjoel cred vi. De Lucy de kinjach, duster de jesh. As eg lidden tre van korpek riogit lesje furid, as van agnek aglit jas de lure, de raui duster, as ish aan gomrit ons rullik sonnie, gerenni call en greesek. Ve bibberni beggen, as renni kroge rum. Tre dinch mi de hit, dinch mi de hit chilirach merum de valje, jiri gin vogel, les baieles peetje. Gouds heishin rumboe, ren en chili gortem a gaden. As gauw Lucy, taaste Jame Jons. the Welsh band Kilmerry too marches daith gwir y Bermo and daith hen Gymru. So the march of the men of Bermo and the march of the Old Welsh. Stasiwn yn asiwn dyn sio radio fanim, ond sio se Claare na Gael visgol sgelion y mer yn pyn Robert Cytyn Carswell o Robert y Carslach.
Did the other hear tell of old Bobby Bob?
Renny Stapel, as we giri siad awer, de lysyn sgoil my vregen. A charaw mi arltach. Ach tre renksyn y cadan chaw mwy gen rolik, bol fy dubod o ystia on, fa y marn lug yn sterm, ren mi slem a chadan lesh lech, gin o ime gen der a chas on shell a chas elia, nach gin ach pech bi, de darach sin pech bi, go taas de jem a chadan roost, chouds washin gold of alia. Va vai oren, as renksyn tai gin chit quail pech bi. Cuurt de rauw honig sin dunje, as fe gin na rawi de bollach shield, as gol stred roin. Ach, renshin kelchen on storus der a ve ashilje sus dorlish, jen lied das de emedy jow on shaw, cadan an enich beggar na wines wat had greire on snalben. Va ma chrie, boelach oord ulju en tre, de rauw mi smuljen na keerten, de ginnens tujem manilu. With this intent, to carry on his bit of a tour, with this intent, as there is no chaise in Peel, I hired a couple of horses, miserable both in their appearance and accoutrements. However, they answered the purpose, though without conveying to the casual observer either respectability or éclat. Ramsey is of considerably larger extent than Peel, and the country in a much higher state of cultivation, with an extensive and commodious bay. But, to my eye, everything was dull and sombrous. Though I endeavoured to divest myself of prejudice and to examine the place and people with an eye of candour, every object appeared in shade, dark, heavy, and opaque. In fact, the Peel cottage subverted my judgment and irrefragably propelled me to its delightful vicinity. Anxious to take possession of our pretty cottage, and anticipating 1,000 enjoyments, which never came to pass, we took a chaise next day, and were set down at our own door. Everything had been prepared. We have Curge and Kujak now, but they're prefaced by Chinchew Yates on the whistle. A Wren na Fee, sung by Kurjan Kujach with the whistle of Chinchia Yates. And so he's arrived back at the cottage in Peel that he hopes to rent, and everything had been prepared, but instead of a smiling welcome, gloom hung upon the countenance of the young woman who received us. Cold, distant formality threw a damp upon those energies which exhilarated my mind during the ride, the cause of which I couldn't conceive, and requested an explanation. "Sir," said the truly innocent creature, whilst a modest blush added to her native beauty, and in fact if you read the rest of the book you find he had quite an eye for the ladies, had Samuel William Ryley. But, "Sir," said the truly innocent creature, whilst a modest blush added to her native beauty, "we hear you belong to the stage, and my mother is fearful you mean to have plays here. We are Methodists, sir, and take in the preachers, and you know it would be quite out of character to have preachers and players under the same roof." I could scarcely avoid smiling at the poor girl's simplicity. At the same time certain feelings arose in my mind of an unpleasant nature. The cottage was a temporary seclusion on which my mind was strongly bent, but to take possession against the will of the owner was inimical to every feeling of comfort, and the thought could not be indulged for a moment. Van mi len im neich me gaan Lucy, gene inrigen son een klentek, aal de jinnige surrants ljorish we moei se furit, ach, son een ambiek, me harach maag en skiel. Tre chosen sin stai, as vashin nie na cadenain, as een gre paje de wis kujach, ren mi filly stiach se ljavi. Rosh me denk cadlori, renny braiach jim, gwi orm, gin gre vogelrish pecher bielje, ish a moir, me gaan an adventurek, as ish shul na cadla. Ren mi leesteg a toyacht me gaan korgelden, ach, look thou smunjen steeds slente mere, as nacht vis as nacht jinnach vis lieden tager farbige, a smunjen jes nacht ottach lied skiel chit de wei kamich, gene harige de wei son shigeris, ma harige de wei ligich mach, smunny me de berg een screene de jinnushan. Tabby Trace Gael, the Renby and Rid Card. Well, we heard music that Mike O'Connor had found in a 300-year-old Cornish manuscript in the programme last time. Here he sings one of his own songs, The Best of Autumn.
The sunlight blazing through the trees in flames of red and gold, the leafy carpet underfoot as crisp as nights are cold, the stubble field you put to plough, the hedgerow growing thin, they mark the turning of the year, the harvest gathered in. These are the best of autumn, these are the best of autumn. The coals new glowing in the hearth, the dusty damper down, the firelight glinting on each glass of amber and of brown, the voices raised in songs of praise, the tales interrostory told, they mark the passing of the year, the seasons around us rose. These are the best of autumn, these are the best of autumn. And as the silent stars survey the sleeping hills around, the frosty moon cast shadows laced with silver on the ground, and deep strength or any use to bring again to mortal man the gifts none can refuse. These are the best of autumn, these are the best of autumn. The 7 stars are in the sky, the wind is in the west. The weary ploughman's to his bed, the hawk is to his nest. And all along the rolling downs, the clouds like hunters ride. The winter days will not be long, our joys we should not hide. These are the best of autumn, these are the best of autumn. These are the best of autumn, these are the best of autumn.
The best of autumn, things to look out for in the present season, described and written, in fact, by Mike O'Connor, who sang his own song there. Tammy a chor an doras fo glas, as ta nacher kiontrish mwanel molau, masaw fuddy na bim burrit rish. Ta Lucy Carla de Sausje, ta heilsige a badran erd as father herrische geen. So it looks as though Samuel William Ryley is going to be disappointed about being able to rent this cottage. Accordingly, he says, I determined to return to Douglas in the chaise which brought us. But, on sending to the inn, the carriage was gone. Mrs. Clark, the owner of the house, hearing this, waited upon us and requested I would make myself easy. We were welcome to remain a few days, or till we could suit ourselves with another habitation. And we'll hear more of Samuel William Ryley and his experiences in the Isle of Man in 1795 next time. As the Jarrow Shene a Chir Shaw signed on Corcion Ern Clairish. Between 7 and 9, you can join Chris Pearson with 2 hours of the best of chill-out music here on Manx Radio, and then at 9 o'clock, Judith Lay will be here to take us through into early Monday morning. We close with an old favourite, a song in the Scottish Gaelic about flirting, in fact, which harp player and singer Mary McMaster and Donald Hay on percussion and samples made into a piece they call Hook. Gesend as na jitgus Jeran Claare Shaw. And so, until the next time then, this is Robert Cutting Carswell, Robert a Carslach.
Our Bobby Bob.
Wishing you a very good night. Eve I'm a Chrieriu, as Orcherier, as me Yerian shared you.